What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. We live and direct. Um, we're gonna continue a conversation we were having earlier this morning about the Martin Show, one of everybody's favorite TV shows of the 90s, and the themes of colorism that was presented in the show. Now I'm at my mom's house, so I'm in the bathroom because my mother's house, the bathroom has the best lighting in my mom's house. So I'm in the bathroom. So that's why you see the shower curtain, all of that going on. You know what I'm saying? You know? So I got to check. Man, I keep forgetting. Golly. Larry Adams, what's going on? What's the word? I'm gonna check it when I get off here. I keep saying it. I keep forgetting. It's a nice background. I'm in my mom's crib. This the best lighting. The best lighting is in the bathroom in my mom's house. So I'm like, this is where I can set up and continue the conversation that we had earlier. You know, so wishing you a happy early birthday. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Lisa greater than Patrice. Uh, so look, I'm waiting till some of y'all come on in here. But the conversation that I was having earlier was about the themes of colorism that was presented in the Martin Show. Now, when I talked about it, it made a lot of people uncomfortable because when we have these conversations, a lot of people think it means we have to cancel. Like, I want the Martin Show canceled. I don't. I still love the show. A lot of people think that means we have to say the show is garbage or trash. No, it does not. It's still a great show, right? But we can acknowledge that some things that was done was not okay now that we're in current times. And that's okay, right? That's okay. Same way we can acknowledge certain things that was said in rap music back in the day was not cool. And we can still have an appreciation for the artists that maybe said those things, but we can say that wasn't cool, right? Now, the conversation earlier, I was talking about how in the show, because Ari Lennox started this whole conversation about themes of colorism within the show, directed towards Tashina Arnold's character, Pam, right? Now, Tashina Arnold, she did a interview with my Chicago homie, Dion Cole, right? She sat there with Dion Cole, and she basically said that the show, she didn't feel like the show displayed colorism. Like Martin cracked on everybody. It was a show with just jokes. All it was jokes, right? Now, here's the thing with this, though, and some people don't understand how colorism works. You don't have to say, oh, you black, you dark skinned for colorism to be presented. Colorism can be presented in texturism, right? When you talk about a woman's hair texture, calling a BDB, calling her hair nappy, stuff like that. Those are jokes that will be lobbied at a dark-skinned woman and not at a light-skinned woman. You will never see jokes on TV like that about a light-skinned woman being nappy-headed, having buckshot, stuff like that. It's just not a thing that would be lobbied towards a lighter-skinned woman on TV, right? Then you'll have things like Pam's character was getting called horses, dogs, camels, getting referred to as animals, being called manly, etc. Right? And I said, I challenge you all. If Pam's character was played by Lauren London or Lisa Ray, do y'all think that Lisa Ray or Lauren London would have been called dogs and animals, or dogs and camels and giraffes and horses, all that type of stuff? Do you think Lisa Ray and those characters would have been called men? No, they wouldn't have been. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Tatiana Ali and Chili and Tatiana Ali were always praised for their hair. Now that I think about growing up, yeah, but they got a little ethnic thing going on with them. some chill like Chili Rosanda or something else. She not all the way just black from what I think, from what I know, I believe. I could be wrong. She got a little ethnic thing going on with her. Oh man, Larry Adams, man, I appreciate the Cash App donation. I I appreciate the Cash App donation. Now she was getting cracked on, right? But calling Gina big head and calling a girl a horse, a camel, a dog is not the equivalent, right? You can get cracked. Jokes does not mean, we're not saying that Gina didn't have jokes cracked on her, but there is a difference in the jokes being told. If I'm calling a woman BDB, buckshot, you will really never see a light-skinned woman getting called those things on TV. Do y'all really think, if Lauren London was in the place of Pam, do you think Lauren London would have been getting called BDB, buckshots, and dogs and camels and stuff? Let's be for real on here. You're lying if you think Lauren London would have been getting called them. Lisa Ray, hell no. I'm gonna answer that for y'all. Absolutely not. She wouldn't have been getting called them things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So while Gina was called big head and all of that, they make the same type of jokes, is what I'm saying. Right? And that's all I'm saying. Nobody's saying we gotta cancel Martin, or we gotta say Martin is terrible. It's a great show. But we can still acknowledge, yo, things could have been handled in a different, those jokes was a little harsh. Those jokes were not always okay. You know what I mean? We can acknowledge that, right? Now, some of y'all are going to say, well, Pam didn't feel that way, so why should we feel away? She's telling y'all her own experience, and y'all are basically dismissing her experience that it wasn't colorism, right? So here's my response to that. If y'all watch wrestling, Booker T told us he didn't feel like anything racial happened against him in WWE. And I told y'all on this very platform, he's a motherfucking lie. Oh, I hope my mama didn't hear me. Sorry, mama. I told y'all he's a lie. All right? 100%. You know what I'm saying? But the man, I'm talking about in the Martin show specifically. I'm not talking about we didn't have no black girls on TV that wasn't dark-skinned girls that was looked at as beautiful. I'm saying on Martin in particular. Now, I'm not saying black dark-skinned women were never presented as beautiful. What I'm saying is in that show particular. Yeah, Booker T gonna tell us it wasn't no racism going on. Booker T. You couldn't even win a belt as the you couldn't even win a belt as your regular persona. They had you under the act of King Booker to get the belt. Then when you fought Stone Cold, look at my son, he's so excited. When you fought Stone Cold in the grocery store, they had him getting his ass whooped all across the grocery store like he was a jobber, like he was a nobody, right? Then had a segment with Triple H said, guys like me don't lose to guys like you. Clearly, I was racist all the way through. Booker T telling us it wasn't racist. So just because the person telling us it wasn't that does not mean it wasn't that. And furthermore, do you think Shashina Arnold is going to tell us on a show that she got a lot of critical acclaim for, a show she got paid for, a show that made her a household name? Do you think she's going to really say, it was colorism on that show? She's going to deny it because the show made her a household name. Do you think she's going to deny it? She's not going to, because she don't want the backlash. She don't want the backlash from a show that made her a household name. Y'all know how this goes. So yeah, I wasn't expecting her to say, "Oh, it was colorism." Yeah, this is a show that made you a household name. You're not going to say that, all right? Booker T, WWE helped to further his career. So he's not going to say, yo, WWE had racism all through it. Gina got roasted too, but the jokes were not the equivalent. Calling Gina big head and muscle butt is not the same thing as calling Pam horse, camel, buckshots, BDB. Is not the equivalent. And I just want people to, that's not the same type of jokes. You know what I'm saying? That's like telling a dude, man, your hairline crooked. Then telling somebody else, man, your fat ass. Look at your fat ass up in there. Do y'all think that's the same joke? That is not the same joke. Your hairline crooked is not the same joke as look at your fat ass over here. That's not the same joke. Let's be for real. It's not the same thing. So just because a person is crap, oh man, you got a wrinkled shirt on. Look at that wrinkled shirt you got on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know. So I think it's this that is the same thing. And a lot of times men don't see colorism and stuff because it don't affect us the same way it would affect a woman. The same way brothers was trying to give like this, it's colorism don't affect black men in the very same way that it affects women. It doesn't. Now, granted, to a lesser degree, dark-skinned brothers was, you know, ragged on to for a minute. Then Wesley Snipes came around and changed the game. But y'all know, being dark-skinned in the 80s and the 90s was like being called a slave. If you was Lupita Nyong'o's character as a woman, you was in trouble. You were in trouble. It was rarely dark girls like that. And see, me, I saw it firsthand with my cousin. My cousin, dark skinned girl, was getting terrorized at school for how dark she was, right? Men don't want to see color because it don't affect us in that way. Michael Jordan, black ass came around. Michael Jordan came around, and it was like, oh, we cool. You know what I'm saying? We saw colorism in Tyler Perry movies for sure, but Michael Jordan came around, we was cool a lot of times, right? You still got jokes, but it doesn't affect black men in the same way that it affects a woman. And I think that's why we are like, oh, here we go again, talking about colorism, because it don't affect us in a certain light, right? You know what I mean? It don't affect men in a certain way until you got a dark-skinned daughter, right? And now today is a little different though, right? Today's time. It's not as like dark-skinned jokes and ragging on dark-skinned people is not as popular as it used to be, is what I'm saying. But and in the show, Martin never made reference to her skin tone. But I want people to understand that you don't have to make reference to somebody's skin tone to have jokes that's rooted in colorism. You get what I'm saying? It don't have to be calling people blackie and darky and charcoal and all that. It don't got to be them type of jokes for things to be rooted in colorism. But like I said, yeah, featureism, stuff like that's a real thing, you know. And man, Larry, thanks for the Cash App donation, brother. That's love, bro. That's love, and I just want to explain that to people because sometimes people don't understand that. And again, I'm not against I'm not saying the Martin Show needs to be off air. It's still one of my favorite shows. But we can acknowledge the truth in some things, even when it's like we don't even if we feel like, oh my God, we want to protect the show due to nostalgic purposes. The same way I got on here and told y'all, my grandmama hated Good Times because of how much JJ was shucking and jiving to her. Dynamite, all that my grandma, like I told y'all. I had a grandmama from rural Mississippi, came to Chicago in 1960 in the Great Migration. You know what I'm saying? During the Great Migration, right? So she's seen all of them caricatures of black folks. Watching Good Times was a reminder of caricatures of black people. She was like, oh, hell no, my grandma hated that show. And I love Good Times. I still do. But I understand her sentiments. Dynamite every 10 minutes is like, all right, damn, it's a lot. You know what I mean? So my grandma didn't even call the show Good Times. She'd be like, yo, daddy downstairs watching JJ. She had, you would argue Pam was more popular than Gina. Nah. Now people say that. Now people say that. Not back then, no. Because men don't express like women do. I think it's, oh, Joe, y'all gotta make it something out of nothing. Nah, I'm not, bro. You feel that way. I feel differently, right? I don't think it's something like, again, name me a light-skinned woman. Do you think Lauren London, brother, or Lisa Ray would have been called dogs, horses, or buckshots, BDB? Do you think they would have been called that? And if you tell me yes, you're lying. You're lying through your teeth. You're lying through your teeth. If you think Lisa Ray, Lauren London, Leela Rashawn from Waiting to Excel. You think if she was Pam on the show, she would have been getting called dogs, dog face, horse, all of that? Do you think that would have been a thing? Horse, camels, and all of that stuff, or would have been jokes about BDB buckshots? Because calling a girl nappy headed is often something lobbied at a darker woman. It's not lobbied. It's not an insult lobbied at a light skinned woman. You know? Said Morris Chestnut, Chauncey from Blackstreet, Tyson Beckford, every Janet Jackson dancer she ever had in a video. Dark skinned men were seen as attractive. And said Kyle would roast Max, but never hurt blackness. Right. It was just a different type of, the jokes are rooted in something different. I don't think they call in Lauren London or Lisa Ray and them a camel. That's what I'm saying. And no brother on here can get on here with a straight face and tell me they believe that. No brother on my platform can tell me if Lauren London played Pam, she was gonna get called a dog and all of that. It was not gonna be the same jokes. It was gonna be jokes, but it's gonna be different jokes. Why? And tell me why you don't think they would have been getting called that. You know what I'm saying? She joked back for real, but you don't see, like, again, I know you don't see what the problem is, but again, certain jokes. Okay, you don't see what the problem is because Martin is a man. If Gary Owens played Martin and he was calling Ticino Arnold buckshot, BDB, dogs, dogs and camels and horses, would you feel the same way? Somebody else made that comment on my other video. If Gary Owen was Martin and Gary Owen was calling Pam horses, buckshots, and all of that, do you think, let's be for real, do you think would you see it then? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? You would have saw it then. Again, they definitely being obtuse on purpose. If Gary Owen was Martin and he called Ticino Arnold, all that type of stuff, like horse and camel and stuff, you would have been like, oh hell no. This brother, you would have went in. You would see it then, because it's a white man saying that, right? You would see it. I'm being honest, and y'all know that. And I'm not saying Martin is a bad person. I'm not saying he needs to be canceled. I just think certain jokes, people weren't thinking about certain stuff that they were saying at that time. You know what I mean? And how it's like, yo, that ain't cool to be, now that we older. And that's what happens as time goes on. We get more enlightened. We understand things and say, that's not okay. The same way back in the day when R. Kelly was messing with little girls, what did certain men in the neighborhood and certain women, what did certain people in our community say? That's them girls being fast. That's them girls being fast. They being fast. They being fast. Now, as grown adults, we should all know that an underage girl should never be able to seduce a man. That is the man's problem for being attracted sexually to a little girl. And we can never victim shame a little girl for horrible urges that a man has because he's a predator. You feel what I'm saying? So as time goes on, we correct certain things and we realize the error in certain ways. The same way when Big got on What's Beef and said his man Gutter kidnaps kids and he does something to him and throw him over the bridge, right? I never liked that line. And Big is I think Big is an amazing rapper. That's my brother. God rest my brother's soul, his favorite rapper, right? But now we look like, hey, you shouldn't have said that line, brother. That's a dark ass line. That's a crazy line to be saying. You feel me? So yeah, as we get older in society, we realize, damn, that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool, right? And that don't mean, see, a lot of people want to protect, they don't want to admit certain things because they think it means we getting rid of these shows or we canceling these people. I'm not canceling Martin Lawrence. I'm not canceling the Martin show. I'm just saying, yeah, it was some jokes and stuff that's like, nah, man. Bro, jokes on a sitcom is the same. If the jokes is rooted in some colorism, Yeah. Okay, cool. If the jokes is rooted in colorism, we can make that equivalence. Said Martin admitted he had to turn down studio suggestions for insults against Pam, so he knew he was going in on her. It was a type of raccoon, and along with Shanae. Calling dark skin women nappy head is definitely a colorist. It is. And I think people don't want to acknowledge that. But if I call a girl, again, bro, this is my man's right here. Mingle Jester. Do you think if Lauren London was Pam, do you think there would have been jokes about her hair? Nappy headed, buckshot. Do you think that would have been a thing? Do you think that she would have been called horses and dogs and stuff? Hell no. You know that, bro. And that's okay to admit, fam. It's not saying Martin is a bad person. It's okay to admit this. People think we just because the show is we love this show that we have to act like we don't know what's being talked about. You know what I'm saying? My point in talking about them, my point in talking about the rap songs and all of that was to show, hey, in different times as we get older, we realize certain things wasn't cool. What light skinned jokes they made about Gina? She was yellow. Them jokes ain't the same as calling a girl buckshot BDB. We ain't never. When have y'all ever seen a light skinned girl get called nappy head for real on TV? When have y'all like? Come on, like y'all know that's really not a thing that's really lobbied at light skinned women like that. Yeah, and it's okay. The show is still a phenomenal show. It's still it's still a dope show. But it's like, yo, these jokes is like, it's a little, hey, we gotta recognize that it was some of these jokes was a little crazy. You know, victim mentality. Hey, don't use that word, but I don't like that word. That's the word white supremacists use to tell you frame that word another way, Mingle Jester. Victim mentality is words that white supremacists use to tell black people stop talking about racism. I'm not saying you a white supremacist, but when we say stuff like that, that's what they tell black people. When we talk about racism, y'all got a victim mentality. And you see what I'm saying? So we got don't use that. It's not a victim mentality. That's just it's being real, right? You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Don't do that. And again, I can sit here and tell y'all, yeah, it's okay to say some jokes is questionable. That's all right, bro. That don't mean we hate Martin. That don't mean we hate Martin or hate the show. It don't. We can just say, hey, these jokes are a little questionable. Same way I can say Big, some of the lyrics that Big had was questionable as hell. Same way on She Swallowed It, when MC Ren started talking about doing something to a 14, 13-year-old girl, hey, this is out of pocket. And I still can have an appreciation for NWA and say NWA was a phenomenal group. But damn, hey, he on his song talking crazy about doing something to an underage girl. You know what I mean? That's it. It's not meaning people feel like we going in on Martin. We trying to get Martin about the way. What? I got Martin all on DVD in my room. This is when I first went to college. I got all the Martin seasons on there. But I can acknowledge, damn, as an adult, and these jokes is a little crazy. And you want to know how I know it's a little crazy? I watched this reaction channel called Cinepals, right? This is like the Asian dude and a white guy named Michael. They watch it. Oh no, as an Asian girl and an Asian dude. They be looking at the jokes live against Pam. They be like, damn, these jokes, they always going in on her, like, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, and again, they gonna say, well, sometimes people don't understand our culture, but yeah, some jokes is rooted in colorism, and that's okay to acknowledge. That don't mean we hate Martin and we trying to get him up out of here. That does not mean that. You know, that's all I'm trying to explain. And it's okay. I know some people are not going to understand what I'm saying or not going to agree, and that's all right. I'm never in a space to try to get everybody to agree with me all the time. I'm just here to explain my thoughts and how I understand certain things. That's it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, the agents be feeling bad for Pam, don't they, Bianca? That's what I'm saying. When another race be like, damn, they going in on Pam. You know what I'm saying? Then you like, all right, you know. And don't point to me one episode y'all saw Kenya Moore on there, and she was looked at it. All right, that one episode, you know. And don't point to the one episode Martin had that dream about Pam. That's one episode. So yeah, we can still love the show and still be like, hey, that's some questionable stuff on this show. That's okay, y'all. That's all right. That's all I'm saying. That's all right. Yeah. So that's you know, I'm on here with y'all. I'm missing the Bears game and everything. I'm on here talking to y'all, talking to my people. I mean, yeah, Pam got back at him for sure, right? But that's not like you know, that's not the gist of what I'm trying to get at. You know, of course she fired back, but you know, I'm just saying some jokes was rooted in colorism, and it's okay to admit that. You know, because some jokes you know would never be told to a light skinned woman like that. You know, and that's the genesis of what I'm saying, the basis of what I'm saying, not the genesis, the basis. Um, yeah, but I still love the show. Still a fan of Martin Lawrence. Oh yeah, two things, but we can acknowledge those things could be true because Erica Alexander, who played Maxine Shaw, attorney at law from Living Single, she said, yeah, her points are. She said Ari Lennox points are valid. See, I got a New Year's resolution to get unblocked from this page. I don't know how to. I have to figure that out, man. I don't know how that happened, bro. I don't know how that happened, fam. And I don't know how to undo it. We got to bring you to justice, bro. Got to bring you to justice, fam. Cause I don't know how that even became a thing while I blocked you on here, bro. My apologies for that. You know, you watch Living Color is still hilarious, but yeah, like it's all type of crazy. Like, listen, even watching when you watch Rush Hour, right? I love Rush Hour, but the jokes that was told, and you be like, hey, this is crazy. We know this is a different time now, but we were like, that man told him, Chris Tucker told Sane, we thought his name was Juntao, but I think his name was Sane. He told him, I've been looking for your sweet and sour chicken ass. You know, verbatim, that's what that man said to him, to the Asian dude. I say, yo, this is wild, boy. And again, back then, we just always fun as laugh, but you like, dang, Joe. That is wild that man says Chris Tucker said that to the Asian dude. I've been looking for your sweet and sour chicken ass. And I say, oh man. Oh, that man took That man took Jackie Chan to Chinatown and say, "Look out here!" He said, "You see one of your cousins out here." Jackie Chan was fresh from Hong Kong, came to Chinatown and said, You gonna find one of your cousins out here." And I said, "Yo, that's crazy." But again, you said, and then Jackie Chan says, "What's up? My N word up in there. I'll B slap you back to Africa." All of that, right? All of that stuff is said up in there. Yeah, I'll B slap you back to Africa. Jackie Chan, what's up, my N word? Oh, yeah. So, as we get older, we recognize the error and certain. So that's kind of like why the Disney movies have disclaimers now at the beginning of the movie. They tell you, hey, look, we understand that the representations in Pocahontas is a little crazy. We understand that the representations in this movie of black people is a little crazy. Now again, this was a different time, but we understand. This is not okay. This is culturally insensitive. But yeah. But I'm not about to, again, when I make these statements, people think I'm crying about it. I'm finna go jump off a building about it. I'm not. Come on. Come on. I'm just speaking up. I'm just speaking up for the fact that, hey, no, it's validity to certain things Ari Lennox said about colorism in the show. For real. It's validity in that. People don't want to say that because we love that show so much. That's it. That's all. And I'm on here. Man. What's the score to the Bears game? I don't, man. Can y'all hear me too? I don't even know if y'all can hear me clearly because, again, I know I'm using the microphone, but yeah, y'all might not be able to hear me that well. Oh yeah, man. When I got off live stream, a few of y'all sent me something on Cash App for my birthday. That's all love, man. I appreciate y'all. That's love, man. I got a tomorrow. Gonna be 33 years old tomorrow, man. So blessing to still be here on this earth, still be maintaining, still be out here doing my thing, still be out here, um, you know, doing what I gotta do to take care of these kids, man. So yeah, I'm blessed to still be on this earth, man. Man, zero, man. It's all love, man. I appreciate y'all. Derek, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna go live tomorrow on my actual birthday, and we gonna chill out, man. I'm gonna try to see if I can give me a bottle of Welch's sparkling grape juice. Y'all know I don't do no drinking, so I'm gonna go try to see if I can go find them Welch's for me to toast with y'all tomorrow. I should have did that on New Year's Eve. Should have did that then, but I missed that opportunity. So we gonna try to see if I can hit Walmart and try to give me a little Welch's grape juice, Welch's sparkling Welch's, the Welch's sparkling from Walmart. Jabari, man, happy New Year, boss. Happy New Year. Go James, man. I appreciate you, bro. It's all love, brother, man. It's all love. Want to send you something? I just can't do Cash App, but I don't want to do Super Chat. I get you. I get you. I wish I had another thing outside of Cash App too, but the only thing I'm operating with outside of YouTube is the Cash App. So yeah, I have to later on try to set up something else. But yeah, Lachey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I ain't gonna be doing nothing, man. Chilling with family. That's it. I ain't got nothing spectacular going on. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Happy New Year and B-Day. Silently listening, and I agree with your take. I appreciate that. Welchless thinking. Oh, that's love. Mills, I saw Kwame on your live yesterday. I couldn't, but yeah, he popped in on there. And I really couldn't get a word in because he would be trying to ramble off like 8 points and I couldn't interject. But he said a lot of things that I did not agree with. A lot. Pertaining to man, he says Adrunas Ilgauskas and Pau Gasol were equivalent of each other. And I just couldn't believe that. Like I I damn near lost my mind. Right. Then I talked about the discrepancy between what he posted about LeBron James compared to other superstars or whatever. But I really couldn't a lot of times he was talking, I couldn't interject, get my point in he would say it's hard to debate somebody when they run off about 5 different points. And then when they finish, you try to figure out or remember everything that they said to rebuttal. You know what I mean? I found myself only being able to remember like 2 points at times because it was like, yeah. Then he kept talking about I'm cutting him off, and he was contradicting himself in a lot of the argument, contradicting himself with a lot of things. So it's like what? But when he get back on, I know how he debates now, so I will be more prepared to debate him and have my talking points laid out, and I know how he debate and all that now. So I think he got a burner account because I'll be like, who telling him I'm on live? Whenever I wasn't even talking about Kwame, I was talking about LeBron, and I'm like, he got a burner or something that followed his page that know when I go live, and then he pop on. Cause he just popped on like an hour into the live stream. I'm like, what? He said he's mad LeBron got Bronny in the D League, but not mad at D Wade for trying to help his son get into the league. Well, I mean, he probably gonna use to say that the LeBron got his son like a $5 million deal and all of that, right? But again, I would do that for my son too. I don't care what nobody got to say, none whatsoever. Say, Matt, is it possible you can create a Venmo? I don't have one, but I can create one just to send something. Yeah, I could try to create one. I'll try to create one after I get off this live stream and see if I can get it done for sure. I can do that. But anyway, man, I just wanted to have another. I wanted to have another conversation about it because I realized that earlier I had a bigger audience on the platform. It was like 70, 75 people on, and I should have really put the link up so I can have a discussion with y'all about the themes of colorism that was presented in Martin. That it was surface level. It wasn't just in your face, you know. Oh man, Deidre, I appreciate the Cash App donation. That's love. That's love. I appreciate you a ton. Say when you gonna get Kwame back on the show? That live was in the time. I don't know. Whenever he pop on, bro. I really didn't know. Again, I didn't even know he was finna pop on yesterday. I was on for about an hour, and then next thing I know, I'm looking in the chat. He in there. I saw him in the chat, so I dropped the link in, hoping that he would get on. And he tried to get on twice, and it wasn't. I couldn't hear him. And he came back on again, and then I heard him, and he was on for like an hour and like 40 minutes or something crazy like that, right? Talking for a minute. So I don't know. I guess whenever he popped back in here, I guess whenever I talk about LeBron James or something like that, or like if I talk about the Lakers or something, maybe he'll pop back around. But again, I wasn't even talking about Kwame yesterday, and he jumped in here. So I'm assuming like either somebody told him I was live, so he got somebody over here telling him when I go live talking about LeBron, or he got a burner account that maybe is subscribed to here, and then he see when I'm talking about LeBron or something like that, then he come jump up in here. Cause he's commented on my videos about him before. Cause y'all know I didn't get on Kwame ass up in here. I didn't get on here cooking Kwame a few times. And Kwame then came up in here. And he commented under like one or two of my videos before when I was cooking him about what I was saying, right? And so I guess maybe from that point he became privy to my channel. And I don't know if he got a burner where he followed us to subscribe to the channel, or somebody who watches the channel for him to tell me, hey, he live right now. And then he come up in here. So I don't know. So maybe the next time I talk about the Lakers and LeBron, he'll pop in. But like I said, it was all good, I just feel like I wish I could have got some more words in, some more. I was able to talk more within his rebuttals or whatever. But it was cool, for him to come on and we could talk about certain stuff. But it was things I strongly disagreed with. You know what I'm saying? And I told him that at the end of the conversation. But it is what it is. Hopefully, if you had called me on your live, he would allow you to speak. You could, yeah, man. I couldn't. I'm telling you, I'm trying to figure out a way. I'm trying to figure out how to interject, figure out a way for me to get a word in at the time. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out a way. Like, can I get in right here? But yeah, man. I think yeah, like I said, as far as the conversation around the Martin show, I want people to understand this does not mean I hate Martin. It does not mean I want Martin up out of here. I want him canceled. I want him and his show to be, taken off streaming. Sorry, I don't know. I still love the show. I enjoy the show. But when things are questionable, when things are is something, when it's something you can side eye and certain things that you disagree with, we can discuss that. We can say, hey, some of these jokes are not okay. These jokes will look crazy. We can say that. And that don't mean that I want to get Martin out the way and I just got it in for Martin. Nah. And I want people to get that. Mills, just imagine if Stephen A popped on with you. Lachey, why you say wow, Lachey? Yeah, if Stephen A popped on, that'd be crazy. And then we're gonna have a long conversation. I would want to ask Stephen A about the LeBron interaction, the whole situation with Donald Trump, and what's her name? Godly. Trying to remember now, but it's a lot of stuff I can talk to Stephen A about. You said you got to call a thing, man. What you mean? Yeah, when something is rooted in colorism, it's okay to admit that. It's all right. That don't mean I'm trying to, and I think people have this notion that we love nostalgia, right? The Martin show is nostalgic for us. A lot of us grew up on the show, love the show. Maybe it's a comfort show for people. When we say something about the show, people feel threatened or personally attacked. And like, nah, we just got to call it what it is. We got to address what it is. I said, wow, if the Kwame thing, he didn't allow you to get a word in. Yeah. He did not. That man, I'm trying to talk. You're cutting me off. You're cutting me off, sir. Because he he didn't want me to interject on the BS he was saying at times. I'm like, bro, what? That's BS. What? I'm ready to jump in, ready to tag in like I'm a wrestler in a tag team match. Say colorism is a big issue in our community that definitely needs to be addressed more. Yeah. And like I said, man, I saw my cousin go through colorism in a way where it hurt her feelings quite often when we were in elementary school, grammar school. We call it grammar school in Chicago, but yeah. And I remember a book called The Skin on Men by Sharon G. Flake. I think that was her name. Talking about a young girl with dark skin and the battles of having dark skin and people making fun of you for being a dark skinned girl and whatever. My cousin got called all type of names for being dark. That's why I bring up, like, in the 80s and 90s, you dark skin. What? Don't let you be dark like Lupita Nyong'o or something, or even a Morris Chestnut as a girl. A lot of times, man, it was like some people looked at dark girls like that as undesirable, and it can be rooted in not just jokes about your color, but jokes about your nappy hair, calling you all type of animals, a dog, camel. Yeah, it could be shown in those ways. So, exactly. D said exactly. I love Martin, but he was colorist when it came to Pam. I feel the same way about Moesha. I still love the show, but Moesha was mean and extremely fat phobic. Yes, when it came to what's my homegirl name from the Parkers, man? Um, damn, what's the old girl that played Kim? What was her name, man? Countess Vaughn. Countess Vaughn. Countess Vaughn. Countess Vaughn, man. Yeah, and how people called all type of fat. Now, it was fat jokes all on the show in Moesha about her weight. And when you go back and watch it, that girl was not no big girl. But back then, if you wasn't a size 0 or a size 2, you was fat. Compared to Moesha, they was calling her fat. So yeah, and there was plenty jokes about. I don't know how Countess is on the show like that. What? Being a young kid, being chubby, I was a chubby fat kid growing up. I couldn't have been on the show. I'd have been like, hey, it's too many fat jokes on here. I gotta get off this. They calling me fat every other episode. Let me get off this motherfucker, man. I'd have been like, hey, let me off here. Like it's a ride or something. Let me off the ride, Joe. Every other show, I'm getting called fat. I'm getting called chunky like a mug. Hey, I'll be wondering how certain child actors in certain roles, where they just getting called fat all the time. People be like, "It's money," and when you a kid, them fat jokes sting, boy. Them fat jokes be stinging. That's how I learned how to talk about people. When I was in school, I was a little chubby kid. Me and my homie Chuda, we both were chubby kids. Chubby little fat kids. I learned how to talk about people because people try to talk about you. When you were a little kid, you got to come and fire them up. That's how I learned how to get down on people. Because I had to defend myself before because people started talking about me. Hold on now. Now I got to talk about how your mama. I had to talk about you. I seen your mama at report card pickup now. Your mama is not a small lady by any stretch of the imagination. That's when they got to go to that level. When you try to talk about me, now I gotta talk about your daddy. Now I gotta talk about your mom. That's not okay, but you gonna talk about me being fat. I gotta get down on your people now. This is how it's gonna go. You take it low, I'll go lower. You go lower. What's my man Eric Mays? When they go low, I go lower. I'm taking it to hell. I ain't even them fat jokes brutal, boy. What? You could be minding your business. You could, if you was fat, if you were chubby in elementary school, you could be eating the same portions as everybody else. They'd be like, he fucking that food up. Look at him. His big ass, he fucking that food up. You could be eating the same portions as everybody else. The moment they see you eating, taking a bite out of anything, look at his ass. He big as hell. Look at So you gotta be ready on guard to cook people. Oh, you better not. Hey, I see you trying to talk about me. I know your mama big. I know your brother big. I know your daddy big. Is over with. Matter of fact, You ain't even gotta have nobody big in your family. Don't let you have the big gums in your mouth or something like, oh, I'm cooking you. Don't let you have any, what? I'm gonna find something on you to get down on. For real, I'm gonna say the moment you say something about me, I'm finding it. I'm getting on you. He said can't relate. People said I was too skinny. God forbid I call them big back though. Yeah, it's cool. You're talking about stuff like this. Much respect for that. Yeah, man. I just listen, I don't want to be a channel that is only versed in one area, right? I recognize that I have an audience that's varied. I have an audience that comes from me for sports, audience that comes from me for boxing, basketball, people that like me for my pro-black commentary, people that like me for celebrity news, people that like me for any conversations about HBCUs, um, maybe relationship advice, stuff like that. So I kind of want to keep my content varied so that I don't alienate one specific audience, right? Now, at certain times, there are going to be things that are um, maybe a priority over the other, depending on what's going on in the world at the time. So I'm going to put those first, but I also recognize that I have to address all different type of things and things that I deem as important. Colorism is a topic that runs deep within our community. Thing is something that a lot of times a lot of our own people don't even understand. It's something that a lot of times black men don't even want to talk about because they think it's trivial, it's silly, because it really doesn't affect us in the same way that it affects women. It doesn't affect us in that same exact way. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna talk about those things. Sheldon say, I've been rocking with you since you spoke up for the LDBC. That was years ago. Yeah, man, because I remember. Nah, it's not even baked, bro. Bro, I found this on Amazon. I was just looking for like a camo type fly look camo hoodie. I just be looking for certain things at times, right? I just had I want a camo type hoodie. I found this on Amazon, bro. For real. So yeah, I was just like, man, if you find camo hoodie, I just put in camo hoodie on Amazon and found something. But yeah, so I remember because in the boxing community, they was trying to call the LDBC nothing but the devils. They was on the LDBC head, calling the LDBC nothing but evil. It was like, and it was coming from a lot of the Hispanic black boxing community. It was coming from even some black boxing, some people in the black boxing community, because this was the time where it was Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Those talks was popping. Then you had certain black fighters fighting Hispanic fighters, and they knew like the LDBC, from what I understood, was founded to give the black fighters support, a fan base. A lot of times, in recent memory, boxing is not as popular within the black community as it is in like the Hispanic community. So the LDBC, from my understanding, served as a base to help push the black fighter, support the black fighter, go to the fights where the black fighters fighting, buy the fights that the black fighters are fighting in, etc. Right? So supporting guys like Errol Spence, Devin Haney, even like Terrence Crawford, even though a rift came between Terrence Crawford and the LDBC when Terrence didn't want to give interviews to the LDBC, from my understanding. And even as a fan of Terrence's fighting ability, I thought that wasn't cool, because in a time where Terrence was a lesser known talent, and he was phenomenal talent, but he was lesser known, the LDBC was the ones that was speaking up for Terrence and riding with him and telling everybody that Terrence was the one and he was the next up, So yeah, LDBC was riding with Deontay Wilder when people was calling Wilder all type of crazy names, calling him everything under the sun. LDBC was standing with Deontay. So y'all remember, man, like y'all know I'm a media junkie. Said that's not the reason. It was because of his moves. Okay, got you. I get you. Yeah. But I knew the LDBC was riding with a lot of the black fighters. So, and I'm a media junkie, so I was always in the YouTube streets even before I had a channel. I would always just be like watching a whole bunch of YouTube. I watch YouTube like it's TV. So, yeah, man. But man, I appreciate all y'all, man, coming on, showing love, showing support for the channel, always rocking with me, keeping the community strong. Like I said, I'm trying to take this channel to new heights. So it starts with, going live and connecting with y'all consistently, talking about things that y'all want me to talk about consistently, bringing y'all in and dropping a link to have y'all on and talking with me. Those things matter. So I'm gonna keep trying to keep being consistent with this thing. And yeah, man, keep pushing out content, keep pushing out videos, all of that. So unfortunately, most of our hitters are black. Yeah, I know. I remember seeing that. It was crazy. There's a lot of black channels that was against the LDBC. A lot of them. And that was just a crazy thing to even watch. But I remember watching it in real time. So yeah, man. But yeah, it's all love, everybody. It's all love. Like I said, man, tomorrow the birthday. So I'm gonna go live on my birthday tomorrow, and we gonna have a good time and laugh and joke and whatnot. You know what I mean? And enjoy each other's company on my big day. Tomorrow is also Founders Day for me. For those who don't know, Kappa Alpha Psi, the fraternity that I'm in, was founded on January 5th, as well as my birthday. So it's also Founders Day for the kids. So y'all might see me twirling the cane tomorrow. Y'all might see me hit a little shimmy real quick tomorrow. All of the above, man. So shout out to the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. That would be brothers like Colin Kaepernick, brothers like Lance Gross, brothers like Chris Broussard, brothers like, well, the late great Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson, Will Chamberlain, Mike Tomlin, uh, Ryan Clark. It's a lot of brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi, man. So it's all good, man. My cousin was an Alpha. He went to Valley. For real. Alpha chapter at Valley is Zeta Phi. Shout out Zeta Phi. Zeta Phi Alphas, they be doing their thing, man. They cold. That's what's up, man. He might be a little older than me though, probably. I was at Valley from 2011 to 2015. You know what I'm saying? I graduated 2015, came in 2011, was wet behind the ears, didn't really know nothing about Mississippi for real, even though my paternal family from Mississippi, but I ain't know nothing about Mississippi for real until I got down there. It gave me a chance to reconnect to paternal roots and all of that. So I always appreciate my experience. I feel like my life went full circle. Being from Chicago, like I said, my grandmother and my grandfather migrated to Chicago in 1960. And then a lot of my other family, they left Mississippi. And I remember going to Mississippi for like a family reunion when I was 6 years old, and I never came back until it was time for me to go to college. And I remember going into the Delta. It was just like, man, it was an eerie feeling. Like I felt like I had been there before, even though I didn't even remember it. And my son, like, Dad, get off the live. I didn't agree with him trying to compare T-Mac to Kevin Martin or even like Ricky Davis. And that's crazy, right? Ricky Davis, he trying to tell me Big Z, Jonas Ilgauskas and Pau Gasol was the same thing. There's no way on God's green earth. And he gonna say how I'm gonna tell him. And he played against them in the NBA. You're not Kwame crazy. Ain't no way nobody on God's green earth. Other people in the NBA not gonna compare Big Z, Jonas Ilgauskas, to Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol is a Hall of Famer. Pau got like 20,000 points. Big Z got maybe 11,000, 10,000 points. Big Z was never a strong rebounder. He was never this great defender. He was slow. He struggled against athletic centers. Athletic bigs gave him a lot of problems. What you doing, man? Like my son, like, hey, what you doing, Pops? He came in here like trying to see what's cracking. What's up, baby? What's up, baby? Yeah, man. So look, y'all, man, I'm finna get off this thing, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We might go live one more time before the night is up. My son, like, come on. We might go live one more time before the night is up. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, see your celebrity, Mike Tomlin. There's brother Cap Alpha side, baby. So yeah, Mike Tomlin, Omar Epps' cousin. You look like Omar Epps, but yeah, man. I appreciate everybody that sent a donation, whether it was Cash App, whether it was through the YouTube, whether it was through YouTube or through Cash App. I appreciate it all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all help, build my community and help me build a base to where one day this can be my profession. So I thank y'all so much. I thank everybody that came through the live stream, that came and provided their thoughts on the whole conversation, provided commentary on it. Thank y'all for everybody. Hit the like button too. Please hit the like button because that keeps me in the algorithm. So before y'all leave, hit that like button. Please, 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 please hit the like button. It helps me out a whole lot so my videos can be heavy within the YouTube algorithm. But I'm off this thing, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.